Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch.
Doctrine, noun, doctrinal, doctrinally, a set of beliefs that form a significant part of a religion or system of ideas, teachings, dogma, tenet, a principle of law, an official statement of a nation's policy. Incorrigible, adjective, incorrigibility, incorrigibly, incorrigibleness, someone whose behavior is bad and impossible to change or improve. Not reformable, depraved, delinquent. In a world of individualism, the doctrine of the Trinity confronts us with a God whose nature is social and communal. It is not a doctrine that was at fault, but the way it was interpreted. Another major factor determining what I think of them is the doctrine and the example of the founding figures of Religion X. It is not good enough to tell everybody that you have refuted the fundamental doctrine of modern free market economics, the doctrine of free trade. He seems to be proposing a doctrine of collective responsibility and guilt by association for all climate scientists. The conservative majority simply will not accept a doctrine that suggests that federal power is not one of limited and enumerated powers. The court's opinion translated the right to private property into a doctrine of public trust. No, nihilism is the act, process, or result of not believing in any doctrine. Without proof, an ideology is a doctrine. Freud is, however, also focused on how Christian doctrine incorporates its excessive order into a religious tradition that must deny all traces of such incorporation. Whatever military doctrine may say regarding distinctions between offensive and defensive conventional weapons, this does not apply to biological weapons. They repress the liberty of private judgment, stifle investigation, assume that a new doctrine must be heresy, and labor to keep the people within inglorious bondage. It should be obvious that the divergence in perspectives is significant. Entrenched in doctrine involves different tasks and will produce different outcomes. Regardless of who is right or wrong about the implications of doctrinal change, the debate itself diverts energy and attention, our own and that of whatever public may be listening. The enterprise, we readily acknowledge, may seem of interest mostly to legal historians, rather than doctrinally or practically oriented scholars. And those people belong in jail because they are incorrigible. They'll make a man incorrigible, immune to even the most sensible of teachings. He was incorrigible. He will go to extreme limits, endangering his soft parts to make me laugh. You could never count on him for honesty, assuming he even knew what it was. He was unruly and incorrigible, but if she stumbled, he'd come running. I've been arrested 3 times for disturbing the peace. I must be incorrigible. But after a few months the visits became rarer. People apparently regarded them as a lost cause, had written them off as incorrigible. Oh dear, Miss and Mrs. Simpson, we have transcended incorrigible. I don't think suspension or expulsion will do the trick. Indeed, the discussion of privacy, subjectivity, self-intimation, and incorrigibility naturally forces us to talk this way. I have an incorrigibly bad habit. I eat at the computer. I know I shouldn't because I have dropped all kinds of things on my keyboards, and it inevitably results in the death of the keyboard. The prisoners' incorrigibleness was the reason for their life sentence, as they continued to engage in criminal behavior even after multiple stints in jail.